do. Uh, Basically, I'm lucky to be alive every day, and I am a mold survivor. So, if you know what that means, mold puts off microscopic, we'll call them chemicals. They stick to everything like super glue, and they're called mycotoxins. Some take 500 degrees of fire for 30 minutes to destroy. Look up the mycotoxin trichothysene, trichothizine, or trichothazine, or however else you pronounce it. Basically, I shouldn't be alive. That's what my doctor told me. I've needed to go to hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy, but just flat out couldn't afford it. And I'm going to tell you the story, but I wanted to get to the point. There's a lot of content creators on here. Their tools are new. They don't use the tools. They don't know what they're talking about. And yeah, their tools are new, and that's fine. They like to collect tools, and that's perfectly fine. If, you know, the channels that like to collect the tools and talk about whatever comes out new, that's great. Um, my tools are new because I buy things that I know aren't necessarily going to work out, but are requested so I can compare them so you guys can see. I'm very close minded on what tools I pick for this channel because I've actually used the tools. Um, there's a lot of tools that are really good that I just don't have 20 years of experience with. So I'm a little bit biased when it comes to what I think works in the field. But at the end of the day, if I do recommend something, it's based on experience since 2000 and we'll just say six, probably five, and before, because my parents were contractors. So since two, like ever since I was young, I would ask for tools for my birthday. So I remember getting screwdriver sets. I remember getting 100-piece tool sets. I remember getting razor saws. I don't even know if they make a razor saw anymore. Razor saws, hand planes, hot glue guns, all that stuff. That's what I'd ask for my birthday and things like that. So, yeah, more than just actually making a paycheck, my experience goes beyond that. What's up, Sayer? Uh, you're a Sparky. Most Sparky tools I've seen are well taken care of. Most of my tools are not well taken care of. I'm very rough on my tools, which is why I tend to beat the crap out of my tools when I want to recommend something. Just like whenever we saw these levels, how did the level stick? Level stick. Fine. I can't even get that one off there. Get off of there. This is a Work Pro. It's like seriously legit. Freaking Work Pro. Um, yeah, I'm really rough on my stuff, man. I was the guy. I beat the hell out of everything. So if I recommend it on the channel, usually it's been tested in battle. Now my tools are mainly new because I had to throw away everything I ever owned and restart my whole life all over again, and I still am not completely recovered. I'm still fairly sick. Last year I was on antibiotics 6 times. So the best way to think about mold toxicity. What's up, Dan? Best way to think about mold toxicity. You are a 5-gallon bucket, and we are going to fill that 5-gallon bucket up at a rate with a water spigot. Now we have a natural pinhole leak in our body that is able to release these toxins naturally. It's called your lymphatic system. So as we're filling up this 5-gallon bucket with toxins, we've also got a little pinhole leak that releases them. When you can't release the toxins naturally at the rate that you're filling up with toxins, you become hypersensitive to things like that. And I understand it, but the best way to explain it, we had someone over for Easter, and I got a little bit sick. I didn't get completely sick, but I did get a little bit sick because I just can't be around people. And just that interaction made me I didn't miss work though, which was cool. That was the first time I had an interaction. I didn't actually miss work. And okay, so basically there was balloons in the house. Someone came over and said, "Whoa, I'm allergic to balloons." And I was like, "Wow, that's really interesting. What happens to somebody that's allergic to balloons?" And she was like, "Oh, well, uh, I kind of need an EpiPen." And I was like, "Whoa, that's wild. How did you find that out?" And she said, "Well, when I was younger, I would handle balloons and I had like a small rash." And I was like, "So it got worse over time?" She was like, "Yeah, now if I went to like a party and they had like 1,000 balloons in a room, um, serious trouble, right?" That's the way it is with mold toxicity. Your body, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That doesn't apply for things like that with your body. You get worse and worse and worse and worse. Your body gets these toxins, can't get rid of them, and then you get zero tolerance. So I've got zero tolerance for mycotoxins, I guess you would say. Now, to complicate things, I've had a hair follicle test. I've had my wife cut chunks out of my hair. They can only use a 1/4 inch of the hair. So even though she's cutting out like hair this long, we can only use this much of it. And it came on a scale, like a little paper thing. We fold this up in a little teeter totter, and we're putting little pieces of hair, and then the scale would tip. Then we took a picture of it, and then contacted the lab and was like, "Is this enough hair?" Based on the picture, and they're like, "Yeah, that looks okay." Send it off. So I've had hair follicle testing. I've had organic acid tests. I've had, um, I think I had about 9 blood tests last year. I've had it all done. I've got mold inside my body, and your lymphatic system stops working when you have mold inside your body, and you also get other toxins. Now, when you get toxic, your body starts inviting parasites. And this is not a sponsored video, but I'm going to show you some stuff that has helped me out tremendously. And I hope that they use this video. I've reached out to these guys before. They've got a YouTube channel. It's called Microbalance Health, or Microbalance Products or something. This has been a big help. These candles actually make air breathable. If you've got a mold situation or whatever, that's basically my only point of sanity for the last 4 years has been those candles. Okay, so what's up, George? What's up, Ordway? We got Uncanny. What's up? And yeah, we got Dan. Okay, so trying to think where do I want to even start with this. So it sounds really crazy. I've got mold inside my body. When I sweat, I release those toxins into my clothes, and then I become allergic to my clothes. So I tend to throw a lot of things away, and I'm still throwing things away. That's why all my tools are new. Back to the topic. Everything is new because I had to throw everything away. Okay. When I sweat, I contaminate my own clothes. I can still breathe around them, but I can't function. So if I put on a polo for work, and I wear undershirts now underneath all my shirts, me wearing this shirt without an undershirt, I can probably wear this shirt 3 times and then I'll have to throw it in the trash. It is what it is. I'm at peace with it. It doesn't matter. Pants will usually last me about 2 months. Wear an undershirt with my polos. If I put on a polo in the morning and I notice that my nose instantly starts running, I've got a decision to make. I can either go out the door because I'm fixing to be late and just wear that polo, and then by the time I get to the office, I will have blown my nose over 50 times in less than 30 minutes. Or I can be late, and what are those cabinets behind me? The Harbor Freight, man. Harbor Freight cabinets for the win. Also picked up some. At one point, they had They had the Harbor Freight cabinets for half off. So I picked up those for $50 and I picked up those for $50. But typically they are $100 each. And they're worth it. They're decent cabinets. Serious question, because tools are non-porous, couldn't you have done a peroxide soak or bleach or water solution? Okay. This is the best way to explain this, okay? This is pretty cool. So I'm a Christian, if you guys don't know. I'm a Christian. I believe Lord Jesus Christ, my personal savior. And it is what it is. If that puts you guys off, sorry, I don't care. God helped me find this house. So we were in an apartment. Before we even moved to an apartment, we went to a tent. And I was living in a tent in my garage in my last house because I couldn't breathe in the house. So I had all the walls plastered off. I had a zipper wall throughout the house. I had to wear a respirator just to be in the house. And we were trying to figure out, like, what the heck is going on with the house, right? So it was really, really crazy. Really, really crazy time. And it was winter, so we didn't need the AC. And I'm fixing to tell more parts of this story, so I don't want to get too much detail about it. But long story short, I found this house by searching for houses. I had the wrong price point on this house. And I'm in an apartment while I have a mortgage at my house. And I typed in houses, right? This one popped up. I thought it was in my price range. This house was not in my price range at all. It was about $80,000 out of my price range, what I was willing to spend. And I hadn't even sold the house yet. We were fixing to sell this house. We were trying to sell the house. We were praying about selling the house, but I hadn't sold the house yet. So basically, I actually borrowed $1,000 from Tools with Souls. I paid him back, and then even more so, giving him things as a thanks too. So he's made whole, and he let me borrow $1,000 so that I could buy a futon and a rug to put in the apartment, so that my kids could sleep in the living room, because it was a one-bedroom apartment that I was staying in with my two kids, while we had a mortgage on the house because I couldn't breathe in my own house. So I put in the wrong number. I find this house, and I recognize the name of it because I'd met this gentleman before, and we were friends for years. He went to my grandma's funeral, and I hadn't seen him in about 2, maybe 3 years since then. I recognized the house name. I don't even know what the price was yet. I thought that I could afford it. So I called my buddy after not talking to him for almost 3 years. And I said, hey man, are you selling the house on blah, blah, blah street? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, dude, I think I'm looking at your house based on the descriptions. Because I remember him telling me he didn't really want to sell it. He was fixing up to sell it, but he didn't want to sell it. His wife was like, no, we're selling it. And he kept putting in finishes that weren't for a flip. They were more of like personalized finishes that he really liked. So when I saw like all the finishes of the house, I was like, man, I wonder if this is this guy's house. So I called him, and it ended up being his house. And about that time that I was talking to him, I said, dude, I can't, never mind. I can't afford this house. Well, his wife was on there, and on speakerphone, she was like, Robert, if you want to buy our house, we'll take $20,000 off the top. And I was like, okay. And she was like, my buddy was like, also, I need silver and I need a truck. And I was like, well, I'm selling a truck because I can't breathe in it anyway. How much you want my truck for? So he takes $20,000 for the truck. Then he takes it for the silver. Now, when you buy a house, you can't change those things. It's all done by digital. Like, you can't bring cash, you can't bring items, you can't say you're going to sell this for this. So he lowered the price substantially on the front end, and completely trusted me just to give him the title and all the stuff after the fact. Now, while this whole thing is going on, he's in the process of still showing the house. The realtor's trying to show it to other people, and I'm like, dude, I'm buying this house, stop showing it to people. And he actually let me stay in it for like 5 days to see if I could even breathe in this house before we even bought it. Which was cool because there was other houses that I was looking at that I couldn't breathe in, and we were actually able to spend the night for a couple of days, which is unheard of for a house that you're fixing to buy. So yeah, dude, God completely lined up this house for us. It was made for us. It's got everything we need in here, and then it's got that back room where it's got a storm door, but it's also inside and it's also air conditioned. But it's like, because it's a storm door. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This might seem weird to you guys. Okay, all those clothes, I don't know if I can breathe around. So they're in this room. This is like the quarantine room. So this house came with a quarantine area where I have a storm door with weather stripping to where I can put things in here that I'm not sure if I can breathe around, like brand new bed sheets from Walmart that had plastics that I can't breathe around. I can put things in here and figure out, can I breathe around them? So I don't know where you're going to find a room or a house with a freaking quarantine room, but I've got one. The house is perfect for my situation, the whole family situation. And now to fast forward about, can you clean tools? Because Parmesan asked me that. I didn't start getting better till I got rid of my wedding ring. So my other wedding ring, we actually barbecued in the grill. I actually grilled it to see if I could kill the mycotoxins. It sat in a glass cup full of acetone for 3 months. And then I took it out of the acetone, discovered I still couldn't breathe around it. So I barbecued it. Then, after I barbecued it, it was super cooked, super yellow, and pretty crusty, black even. And it was diamond ring too. And I took it up to Jared, and I had him rhodium finish it. Now, rhodium is very caustic. So I was like, okay, surely the rhodium will take care of the mycotoxins on the ring. So we get the ring back. The family's in the car. I go pick it up, and we all realize that the ring is actually spicy and we can't breathe around the ring. Still, after the acetone, after barbecuing it, after the rhodium. So, no, you cannot clean tools. You can't clean anything. It takes 30 minutes at 500 degrees to destroy some of these mycotoxins. I had Stachybotrys, I had Aspergillus, I had Fusarium, and I had, what's the other mold there? Penicillium, I think. I had 5 molds at the house, and off the charts for toxin poisoning in my body. Oh gosh. All right. Yeah. So can't clean. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Mine, not cleanable. Some molds you can. So yeah, EC3 is what has helped me out the most. These candles. Angela found them on Amazon. They work very well, but because unless you're really sensitive to air and you start noticing textures of air, and I'll kind of tell that story here in a second, you're not going to know if these candles help you or not. Because unless you have like toxicity problems, you're not going to notice the difference of air. I can't even go to church anymore because people wear perfume because I can't breathe. We got a guy in the office that wears cologne, and if he wears too much, sometimes in the morning I can't even lift my arms. And then I got to go to my car and take a forceful nap. Like I don't even have a choice. Like you're fighting to stay awake and you're just falling asleep. Um, I remember laying in the tent whenever we were in the garage still at the last house and reading how bad mold could be and how people interact with it. And I remember thinking to myself, that's the stupidest thing I ever read. There's no way somebody that gets in contact with mold would just physically just kind of, not pass away, but pass out and just become completely uh, incapacitated, I guess is what you would say, for lack of better terms. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I have a friend that has 9 children with bunk beds everywhere with a quarantine room with 2 bunk beds, and they're able to keep everyone safe from what was going on around. That's good. Going into maintenance was the worst mistake I ever made. Well, one of them. Justin. What, the shots do help. The racks inside Harbor Freight 2 were added in. Oh, so the racks inside are Milwaukee. So we got Milwaukee pack out. And then you just drop them in there. These are actually pretty decent. They make pretty decent pliers racks. So I've got 3 there. Out of all those pliers, there's only like 3 pairs that I'd recommend. But you got to have them all because people ask questions. It's like everyone's like, "Hey, you got so many pliers? Can you send me some?" It's like, man, I've got to compare them to each other. So I would love to, but then I got to go buy some more. And then the ones I'm going to send you aren't good. I left some really nice ones with my brother, and then I went and bought some more because I actually missed them. Mango into maintenance. Okay, how does being around synthetic fibers trigger an internal mold situation? I understand the cologne part. Same thing. So the fake fibers, there's formaldehydes and chemicals in like everything, and the best way to put it is VOCs. So the more fake it is, the more synthetic crap it has in it, the more VOCs it puts off. VOC would be a good example of VOC would be you're opening a can of PVC glue and you get that heat come over in the air, or nail polish remover has VOCs. So it's the VOCs that burn my throat. Um, is the best way to put that. Some stuff that is high in VOC, like citrus and stuff, doesn't burn my throat, but it definitely it's like, damn, that's strong. Um, it's kind of weird. I can usually wash new things. Sometimes I just can't. Some things just can't be washed out. They just have to air out. If you were to buy one of those crazy squishy couches on Amazon that starts off like the size of this, and then by the time you unpack it, it's like this big. Dude, those things put off some serious VOCs. Like the beds in the box, dude, you can't have those in the house for like 3 weeks. So whenever we got my daughter's bed, it came in a box, and we threw it in that quarantine room for almost a month before we took it in the house. The yellow wire strippers from Klein. How do you cut Romex normally? Let me see here. Tough Guy says, "Hell no, in my experience, Knipex outlast your clients every time." What's up, Ot? What's going on? So it's positive like Knipex. You think Knipex linemen are better than Kleins these days? No. I got to answer some questions. So hang on a second. I have a friend. Okay, so has me around synthetic fibers. I'll take your broken tools. Yeah. So many of those pliers look like Knipex. Okay, so the pliers are Knipex because I have a subscriber and a friend that watched the YouTube channels that push all the Knipex stuff. And these all suck. These all suck. These are okay. These are cool. These are good, but for the most part, a lot of these pliers actually suck. In America, I mean that's self-explanatory. That's dumb. Um, in America, we don't use our pliers the same way that they do overseas. So this here is extremely useless for us. And then not having cross hatches because we twist wire is extremely necessary. So my buddy bought all these and then realized that they're actually garbage and then sent them to me because he spent like $400 on Knipex pliers that just sit in a drawer. So I use them because one, Knipex makes very good tools, but two, they also look really good behind me. That's why they're there. I discovered these. Not these. These are good. These. Not those. These. I found these in 2008 at a store in Fort Worth in Texas and told the whole world about them as soon as I could at the job site. These are the best, dude. There is nothing better than the Knipex Cobras. You will absolutely get your money back. You can't break these. If I can't break these, you cannot break these. I've done terrible things to pliers. You can see where I'd like taking nicks out with the bandsaw. These ones are newer, but I did some really, really awful things to my 12-inch Cobras that I had for 10 plus years. You cannot break a pair of Cobras. You would have to try. You could probably run them over with a skid steer with tracks, and they'd be fine. You can't break the Knipex Cobras, but I still think the Klein has the edge because when it comes to like the linesmen, the diagonals, things like that, I'm Klein all day when it comes to those because one, they're available in store. Two, they're made in America. Three, they've never let me down. Four, they're extremely well weighted. Five, they have 3 different sizes of grips that works really well. 6, they have extremely hard cutting teeth. I have damaged my Knipex. Let's see here. Is that going to turn on? There you go there. My Kleins, I cut the same thing with my Kleins. These didn't last. I don't know if I got a bad pair of Knipex. We can make excuses for them later, but at the end of the day, they didn't stand up like the Kleins did. It is what it is on that. So yeah, those are just for show and they suck. And it's a good reminder that the internet is not real for the most part. This channel is extremely real. I'll tell you anything you want to know, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I'm going to lose commission for something. There's a lot of tool channels out there that will push everything because everything is great, because if everything is great, that means you buy it, and then they get the commission. Yeah, it is what it is. You'll never hear anybody talking bad about tools. All of them are great, every time. JE Hurricane. Hell, user razor. Ideal. Yeah, somebody asked me about Romex earlier, the strippers, the yellow ones. I think. And I missed it. Yeah, dude, I got a black barber shop right up the road. Every once in a while I go up there. I got a guy that's up there, his name is Kari. And I tip the shit out of him every time, dude. He'll get it all straightened up. I've been trying to grow it out. I shaved it, and then it's like, why did I do that? Every time I shave my beard, it's like, why did I do that? Okay, so for the Romex strippers, it's kind of a gimmick. There's two ways that you can handle the Romex. Yeah, somebody wanted me to show you guys these and bring them to the channel. They're okay. These are extremely slippery. These handles. Listen how tight I'm grabbing. First off, and you can see I can just easily spin them in my hand. That's crazy. Like I can white knuckle it and still spin them in my hand. So when these get wet, man, they're super slick. I don't know if I can spin these. Yeah, see, these don't spin in my hand. You see the difference there? These are extremely slippery. They are stainless though, so they don't rust. So if you're outside doing a bunch of panels and that's your tool bag and you got your white table that folds up and you know, one of those what brand is it, Rubbermaid or whatever it is, you got a Rubbermaid table, sitting all your tools on there, and it's the morning dew and all your tools are getting rusty and all that stuff. You know, stainless steel tools are cool, but dude, they are like super slippery. And then I feel like I ripped these ribs off. Maybe I can't. No, I can't. Where was the mold in the house? The mold was in the attic. So we had shingles in the attic. So when you went in the attic, you were standing on shingles. And then we had shingles over our head because we had a roof. So we had no idea that the roof was leaking. And just making mold in the attic. It was pretty awesome. The yellow strippers from Klein. How do I cut Romex normally? Okay. So the yellow strippers from Klein that have this they're okay. Are you going to do this first and then put your Romex in the box? Are you stripping before or after you put in the box? It depends on what you're doing. Back in the day, we would just jam the Romex in the box and the inspector would come there and he would not make us have to bond all the grounds together and pigtail all the grounds for a rough inspection. But now, because of incompetence, we have to pigtail all the grounds together. So a lot of times your Romex gets stripped for the rough. And these are fine, man. They take the sheathing off. You just close it, pull the sheathing off, and stab your wire in the box. It just depends on what you want to do. I like using a knife, but if you're doing a bunch and that's what you're doing and you're roughing in a house, you should always use a proper tool for the job because this is going to be faster than having to use a knife. You're less likely to hurt yourself using this versus a knife. It just makes sense to have the proper tool for the job. So it just depends on what you want to do. Henry Kerber's an older maintenance guy, and he went off about millennial tools. I told him his channel slip blocks. Oh, shit. Exactly. Let's see here. Hey, Robert. Are modern hand tool handles still containing that butyl type plastic like the old ones that start shrinking like barf when they get old? I don't know. My HVAC guy came over the other day and he had this going on with his Kleins. So I begged him for a screwdriver. I was like, dude, you have to leave that here. I'll give you a brand new one. My doorbell is ringing. Hang on a second. You rang your doorbell. Got that patriotic doorbell going on. Yeah, so this happens now. It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. I think they're working on doing something different at Klein, but dude, they need to stop making all kinds of tools for everybody and just focus on this not happening. Yeah. Okay, let me see here. The chat. Those are for nuts, but there are 2 other tools better than those for nuts. Yeah. All right, Pine Tree, a bad flashing job in a connected roof in his old home. It was actually just a complete roof leak. It wasn't even a bad flashing job. Solid wire strippers. Hang on 2 seconds. My daughter's having a hard time right now. Okay, what about the style? The wire strippers aren't the Klein and Knipex slightly different in the way they strip? Wire strippers. Yes. The way that Knipex strip is I gotta find the Knipex. First off, the Knipex here, I'll show you something interesting. You gotta remember, Knipex is not made for American wiring. Knipex is Knipex. So when we look here, we've got number 10 solid. See if I can find that for you. That says stranded there. That says solid. See if I can see if we can read it now. Yep, it says solid there. It says stranded there. So this is number 10 for solid up here, and the stranded is number 12. So number 12 right there. So we're going to take some number 10 right there, number 10 AWG. So this is number 10 stranded, which these strippers are not designed for. This is stranded wire on a number 12 stripper, and they strip really nicely. So if it wasn't for that blunder, they got really lucky, basically, because these were never designed to do stranded, but these have become like the standard for the construction electrician because they do number 10 stranded. But they were never designed to do number 10 stranded. They say number 12 on there. Now they just came out with these. These only do number 12. They only do 14 and 12. And if I was to try to use the 12 here, this is the smallest setting here. I'll show you what happens. Let me cut this back here. So we cut that there with the 12 there. We're gonna go to strip it, and it's on the smallest, the largest hole possible. You're going to see here where we probably cut some strands. Let's see here. We can get it off of here. Yeah, see, there's strands in there. And we gave it a haircut. Man, the camera's not focusing today. These are we cut strands off of that. So these pliers that are $80 are basically for residential only. They have flats here. They don't even have like the ability to really grab anything because it's just completely flat. And that's what you get. So I would say, yeah, the strippers for Knipex are way different than the Klein because they don't use the same type of wiring that we do. Whereas Klein will make strippers designed for American wiring purposely. They'll put cross hatches. They'll put all the common sizes that we need. I think Crocs make some of the best ones though. The Racketeers Crocs are really good. So these are the Klein here. And see here. Yeah, right there. This is the straight pair Klein. I don't think I've ever stripped number 10 with the straight pair Klein. Okay, so that must have been the number 12. Where is it? Ah, yeah, perfect. Number 10. That's, if you know, you know. That's not easy to do. There's not too many strippers that will do that. These will do it very nicely. They were just never designed to. Oh, not as smooth. Look at the dent in my thumb. Pushing. It's great. Yeah, I would say the Kleins actually strip it a little bit smoother, dare I say. And then we've got the Weehaws here. I don't think these Weehaws are made for number 10 either. Let's see. Oh, no. That was clean. Hang on. I think the Weehaws are going to be one of your favorites. Let me see. If I close all the way, what happens? Do they chomp? I think they do. Yeah, okay, so the Weehaws, you got to throttle them a little bit. You can't cut too much. But, man, if you get that just right, dude, that's amazing. The Weehaws have a lot of leverage. That's number 10 right there. Stranded. That's easy. And that's more than you'll ever be stripping. So we're just exaggerating this for you because it's hard to do. And no other creator can do that. So I think it's funny. I think it's fun to do what no other creator can do. Let me show you the Crocs Jr. Here's the Crocs Jr. A lot of people say that this thing here gets in the way. It's like too loose. All you got to do is take a beating screwdriver and just beat the piss out of that rivet on the backside, and it tightens these back up to perfect. Okay, Crocs Jr. time. Number 10, stranded way back here. The Crocs Jr. are like just easy, 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 easy. So good. Without even trying. And you can take a number 10 and just go the whole length of it if it's solid. So the ease of stripping, man, these things give you a lot of leverage. I was not expecting that. Gotta turn them around. Oh, these are the Knipex. That's why we're getting our ass kicked. Yeah, because the Knipex suck. Sorry, I thought I grabbed the Weehaws. There we go. Yeah, I was like, what's going on here, man? The Weehaws are sweet. Yeah. Yeah, the Weehaws for the win, man. These things were really expensive, though. These things were $120. But they're good. I give credit where it's due. The new Knipex suck. These are so good. These are probably still what you want to get for a commercial because they work really good. But the Klein here, the way they cut with the step cut is just, it's awesome. All right, we got stuck on a wire stripping tangent. Sorry, I like wire strippers a lot. I was counting my pliers. I have over 70 pairs of pliers in this room. That's just in this room. Never seen those before. The Ideal box jaw blue handled are part of the Wounded Warrior. That's pretty cool. I like that. Which Klein screwdriver is better, the ratcheting one, or they just released like the Vessel one that has the stubby? Okay, so the one that has the stubby, I got to make sure this isn't the prototype because I can't show you the prototype. The prototype is in the car. Okay, first off, it can take a hit, right? Because I use these every day. So this one here, you can see where, well, maybe you can't. It's not a crack, but it's got a nice scratch in there. There you go. You can kind of see it. They can take a hit. I don't care that this is a stubby. I never thought about this being an option for a stubby. If I'm in a tight spot, I'm not grabbing this, man. I'm grabbing, like, stubbies are useless, man. Stubbies are, this right here, this is all you need because it's magnetic. This sits in your pinky. And if you're ratcheting on something, all you have to do is you can literally spin this like this with zero tolerance or zero clearance. You can take one of these bits here. Let's say we're doing a bonding bushing or something. Okay. And we can advance it like this. But you can also put your pinky in here. And if you are in a tight spot and you cannot physically move your fingers like this, using this is on the spot. All you have to do is just pivot your pinky. So you can use one hand here. This hand here is just to keep it still. You wouldn't use this hand at all. This is on my screw now. I'm keeping my finger there. All I have to do is use my pinky. You see that? That hole right there is so purposeful, it's ridiculous. Because I don't even have to move my fingers to turn this. All I have to do is just pivot my pinky. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you're in a tight spot and just the wrong move is all it takes to get off of the screw. You can keep pressure with this one finger and just move your pinky. That's all you have to do. I don't care about stubbies. So when I saw this, I never thought about this as a stubby. This is a way to access your bits. It re-indexes and then it grabs here. And then you've got one of the best magnets I think that I've ever seen on a tool, at least definitely from Klein or hundreds of other brands. This is up here as far as like magnetic ability. Listen. I mean, it's just dumb. It's crazy how good that magnet is. Look. Is it gonna? Hang on, we can launch this, can't we? There we go. Finally. It went way underneath that table. It's just a really, really useful screwdriver. that has that ball grip. Um, it's just it just has all the bits you need. So if you have that screwdriver, you're always gonna have the bit that you want. Don't really care that it's a stubby. And the vessel, like their design sucks. Okay, I could probably go get the vessel for you. Their ratchet is terrible. It flips itself all the time. It's way too loose. It's one of the worst ratcheting screwdrivers I've ever used. At least mine was. Maybe you got a good one. The K1412, the part number's yellow ones. I have those. What is best? Should I go buy the blue ones you recommend? Okay, so 2 things to know about these. These are the straight version. If you watch even Morgan Maintenance, whenever he's using these, the more that he uses these, the more you're going to see that his fingers start riding up. And the next thing you know, now he's touching the metal. I have a rule when I'm doing electrical. Doesn't matter if it's construction, doesn't matter if it's been energized before, whatever it is. I don't like to touch the copper. I always use my tools to touch the copper, and I usually try not to touch the metal part of my tools. So I don't like how aggressive the spring is on this. It keeps it like so open. Like it's fine, but you're going to see here where this tool just wants to naturally kind of like slide. So if I get this a couple of bounces like this, and I'm kind of keeping it loose, you're going to see where you kind of start riding up. You can see where the level of my hand here is starting to get up higher and higher and higher. And to readjust is not easy on these. You almost have to take them back out of your hand to get them back down here, because this is the meat of your hand. So when you use regular pliers, they stay in the meat of your hand here, and you can do what you got to do, and you can flip them, and you can do all that stuff because they're down here. But as you start riding up here, you can't do anything. I can't even flip them. I can't access them. I can't do anything up here. You see what I'm saying? Like now my thumb is in the spot. Like they need to be down here to be able to open them, to catch them, to throw them, to whatever you're doing. These like to ride up, and it's because they don't really have a bump. So if you look at the Racketeers here, they have this bump here that stops your hands from sliding up so much. If you look at the Knipex here, they kind of have this curve here that kind of keeps these in your hand so you're not sliding up near as bad. These are, you know, obviously got the 1000 volts. So they stop your hands riding up. These kind of curve up. They're flat, and they would ride up, but because you've got this kind of aggressive turn right here, your hand kind of sits here and it doesn't really want to slide up any higher. When we look at these kind of have a curve to them, and these have a flat, so it stops your hand from riding up so much. They stay right there. It just depends on what you like. I can tell you right now, though, these are going to probably ride up in your hand as you're using them. We need to reshape this. And I think I'm probably going to do that as a modification. Maybe during a live. I like the curved ones, though. I don't know where they are right now. It's actually kind of weird I don't know where they are, because they should be right there. Oh, I know where they are. They're in this cabinet, because I'm trying to put together a tool list. I'm trying to put together a tool list of some of my favorite tools. And that's why my curves are over here, because I actually like the curves. They stay in your hand because you got flats, and then this curve stops your hand from kind of riding up. You can't really twist with them anyway because they're too small to twist with. You could probably make up like ballast wires, but that's about it. But yeah, the straights just kind of feel weird in my hand. Happy 4th of July. What's up, man? What do you do about trades swiping your hand tools? Well, I always keep my tools with me. So what I would do is, towards the end of my career, I had a rigid toolbox. I would paint my employee number on it. So I would take black tape. I would number out the black tape, and then I'd spray a negative over the whole box of my employee number, so you couldn't scratch it off as easy. Did the same thing on my ladders too. And then I would get casters like the dollies, not casters, but actually get the moving cart dollies, like for moving, with the 4 wheels. And I would throw those in my box after I locked it up. That way no one could roll around my box. So I'd literally, that rigid box would only have wheels because I pulled the casters out of the toolbox itself, picked up the toolbox and slid them underneath. So no one could actually roll my stuff around very easily. It was always flat, all the surface area on the floor, no wheels. Everyone else that had casters, their boxes would be moved because someone would be like, oh, I need to paint this wall today. Let me move your whole box in this random room. And, no longer in the open where somebody can just get in it. But I always made sure my tools were with me. It's not a Husky. It's not a Rigid. Maybe it is a Husky. Husky has those big, huge totes with the 2 wheels, and you pull out that arm, usually has a foam for a handle. That slides downstairs amazingly because you can get that angle like just right, and you can just skid like over the top of the stairs. And if you kind of like pick up a little bit of weight off of that, like off the back of where the wheels are, you can kind of just glide it right down the stairs, or you can pull it up the stairs too. That's really useful for construction. That's a good box. Put everything in there and take it everywhere you go. Oh, nice, tough guy. You finished Sparky school, about to get into the field. That's awesome, dude. What are you going to do? Don't sleep on the Weehaw. Absolutely. The Crocs are also stamped. The stamped is kind of preferred. Depends on what you're doing. Flip the stripper. Let's see here. We started talking about tools and not mold. Holy moly, I got a lot of comments. Let me see here. Yeah, borax. That's a good idea. So what I've done recently, you're fixing up a house that had a horrible mold in the wall from a bad flashing job? Yeah, that will do it. Okay. Ideal. Which clean screwdriver is better? The ratcheting one. I like the ratcheting one. I use it a lot. It's good because you can kind of advance the ratchet. But I think the original ball grip is still like the GOAT. The ratchets are just slow, man. Because like you'll be ratcheting, and then you'll realize that you got to stop and turn it, and I don't know. I put the 27-in-1 tip on my ratchet. I'll get it in a second for you. The box jaw, perfect for shipping Romex. Is that the blue ones? What's up, Frank? Make a video about the Milwaukee Light. Put the box jaw on there as well. Yeah, do that. The new wire really see you haven't been putting new wire, just working inside boxes. So maybe I should get the blue ones. You can use inside the box. Use your fast pad to cut. Exactly. No one else say questions on number 1? Yeah, awesome, Corey. Definitely. Blue ones do have all the sizes. Thoughts on ideal reflex T strippers? I know the one. Yeah. So the ideal T strippers are here. And this was about as good as we ever got for years. These are the kinetic reflex. So they are kind of the Cadillac of back in the day. These are extra nice, man. Whoever designed these really thought about tradesmen, because you'll notice they put the 14 all the way down there. So for commercial, we never use 14, but it's there if you need it. So the 14 is way down here because you're never going to use it. The first hole is number 12. The next hole is 10, and then you got 8, and then you got 6. And then your stranded will do number 8, number 10, number 12. So they were really thinking about the construction tradesmen when they made these. And then these, like, you can strip wire while it's energized by pushing your thumb here. You're not supposed to strip wire while it's energized, of course. But yeah, number 10 stranded usually pops right off. Yeah, number 10 stranded pops right off. This was the peak of, like, I mean, just awesomeness back in 2010. These were it, man. This is what we had. These were amazing because check it out. You're pushing here anyway, so you're able to strip wire while it's energized because you're not pushing here. It's actually got like a spot for you to push on. Don't strip wire energized, but it does it. Okay, that's all I can tell you. These are overpriced right now. These things are like $60, but they're still really nice, and they are the kinetic. Do they have a number on them? Ideal. I don't even see a number. The way I found these was my previous purchases from like 2010 and 2011. I don't even see a part number on them, honestly. They are the kinetic reflex strippers, though, from Ideal. They're not half bad. I think we have a couple of better options out now. The Crocs. The reason why I like stamped strippers is because I always go back with a Titan around my loops on receptacles or switches. Actually, I'm going to switch over here. So we got a switch right here. I've got something. What do I have here? Is it just a ground wire? Ah, we'll take it. We will take it. Okay, we'll just do the speed wire. So if you guys don't know the speed wire, you can loop that right there. Of course, this would be, insulated. And you just push, and it wraps right around automatically. You don't even have to do anything. And then what I would always do is I would always follow up with the Titan down here with my strippers or whatever. So you can see where I'm grabbing them both like that. You can't do that with your modern, more popular strippers. This overlap, I don't like overlap wires. There we go. So you can see now where it's like fully closed, right? More closed than it was. It can't fall off. You can't do that with these because they're just too wide. You see what I'm saying? You can't do that with these either. These were appealing because you might be able to get closer than ever, but then they didn't crosshatch them. They're completely smooth. So they're not going to grab either. The kinetic strippers have that little, you see what I'm saying? So the stamp set for the win still, as far as I'm concerned, for a lot of reasons. But just like people that use Legos, just like people that backstab, you have people that don't always close their wires. They try to rely on the receptacle itself to maybe close the wire or just the screw to be tight. I always, every time, 100%. That's the way I was taught. That's what I always did. The foreman, or not the foreman, the journeyman that showed me would always use needle nose. He would put away his other pair of pliers and actually use needle nose and close all the loops. So stamp sets are good because they're skinny. Bump up the minerals, yeah. Thanks for these details. What state are you in, Tough? I use a Klein daily, but also I find myself with the Milwaukee 7-in-1. So the Milwaukee 7-in-1 is cool. Get you a 6-in-1. Where is my Milwaukee 6-in-1? Right here. These are great. 20 bucks. 20 bucks. You've got to break these tabs off. If you don't, it will drive you insane. First thing you want to do, just get your Kleins and just completely just break them flush off. That way you don't bump them. And number 10, stranded, right here. Should strip, yeah. These strip amazing. These are good for commercial. These are arguably probably the best bang for your buck for commercial. I hate to say it, I give credit where it's due. The Milwaukee 6-in-1s are pretty darn decent. Let's see here. That's true, Justin. Finishing Sparky School. Okay. Yeah, I've been using the Knipex Forge strippers since they were only Euro. And they're great. Forge Knipex strips. Yes. Subbies are pointless. Yeah, I think so. 2 things to remember. 1, to find a good wife. You don't need a stripper. That's awesome. The same rule, even though I know the circuits in the panel. Okay, I'm way behind in the chat. We're going to have to skip through a couple of comments. They remind me of your grandma scissors. Lowe's is awesome. Let's see here. The tools, I want to get those black Klein linesman pliers. Not the lame blue color. Just afraid of blowing a $50 pair of linesman. Yeah. Let's see here. Definitely cringe looking. Also, Ideal has a pair with a yellow handle that looks more normal. Yes, yeah, those are the T strippers. Those are good. I've used all the Ideal strippers. The Ideal strippers are very good. I would say that Ideal makes better strippers than Klein until these came out. So, with the exception to these, Ideal makes better strippers than Klein. These just hit the market. The forged, and then the step cut. The step cut on this is like just ridiculous. You get so much leverage. Those knives are the best. The blue and the red. Been rocking them since I started. The knives. Oh, yeah. Yeah, on the Knipex. See here, why do you keep saying for commercial? Those are not good for residential. No, they are good for residential, but I had number 10 solid, stranded, so, these are good for, these are very good for resi, too. These are very good for resi. But my whole background's in commercial. I did 2 years of residential, maybe 3. I did 3. My first like 8 months was residential in a company. And then I went to work for the same company for 10 years. And now I've been an electrical inspector for almost 10 years. And before that, I was in HVAC class for 4 years. 3 years. 3 years of HVAC on jobs and all that as well. So, and then in that 10 years, I did 3 years of industrial with aluminum rigid, plaster bond. We went through like 7 master bundles of plaster bond on that job. And probably about 6 or 7 bundles of aluminum rigid. yeah, that was a pretty cool job. We also had to thread our own rod. It was slick rod, so it wasn't even all thread. It was just smooth, galvanized rod, and we had to thread it ourselves because you could only have so many threads. And then they didn't allow strut on the job because it was wash down, so you had to get angle iron, and we'd have a little stud welder, and we could weld like little quarter 20 studs, or you could drill because they had a drill press on site. You could drill through and through. Every bolt was stainless steel, and everything was specced with nylon. So every mini, every bolt, every nut, everything, you had to put a tool on it. You could not spin it with your fingers. So you had to have physical tools. Where usually you can just run up a nut on anything, and go on about your day. I'm running the new Klein Slim 4 strippers. Do you like the Crocs better? You let me know, dude. These are worth trying. They're $20. These are worth trying, and then you let me know. I really, really like the new Klein Forged. I really, really do. But, dude, you'll probably thank me later. You got to get the juniors. Make sure you get the Crocs Junior. Go try these out too. These are light. They're tiny. They fit in any setup. You always have them on you. They are actually amazing for stamp. This is the best stamped set of strippers in the world. I'm convinced. And then they're top 6 strippers of all time. What do you think about the Hyper-Tough brushless cordless ratchet and impact gun? It's probably fine, man. It's probably fine. I got no problem with Makita. I've got no problem with like the lesser tools because they work, and especially as an electrician, you don't need much torque. So like this drill here, and this impact here with the light ring. You got to remember. This is going to sound like an exaggeration. We built America with less. So back in the day, 800 inch-pounds on a 12-volt tool was the bleeding edge of technology. And a brushed rotary hammer from Makita was the bleeding edge of technology. I was still able to drill an 1.25 inch hole with one whole battery on the side of a building in downtown Dallas, 15 stories in the air, through for a wall pack with a brushed Makita rotary hammer. So you fast forward today, your crappiest Chinese tools, whatever brand, insert brand here, are going to have more power than the brushed Makita from 2012. So as an electrician, man, you don't need that much torque. So if it works for you, it works for you. There's way better purchases you can make, but I'm not going to knock somebody because you're trying to save money or you got a certain tool. You don't need that much torque in this trade. And these little tools here, I think this was like $80 for both of these versus Milwaukee being $250 for a set. It's hard to say that's not going to work for your job when we have so much better today in every brand. It's been a hot week. Yeah, I think it was 102 here. The Slim Forged are made in Taiwan, probably, or somewhere like that. They don't say it on them. They say it on the box. It's probably a Taiwan. Probably a Taiwan. Now, just because they're made in Taiwan, you still have engineers. It's kind of like Apple products, you know. They're designed in California, but just because they came out of California, it doesn't mean that they're completely gay. I mean, they still work good enough, you know. Apple products are made in California, but they're still cool. So, you know, just because these are made in Taiwan, you still have like smart minds, you know, developing this stuff. You still have standards in the factories. It'd be cool if it was made in America, but sometimes it's just the cost of this. I mean, for $30, you're getting this. This is amazing for $30. This is like Knipex quality for a third of the price. What size does Crocs go up to? They go up to number 8. Number 8. What's cool about these is they don't really discriminate whether it's stranded or solid. Like, they just do it. So it doesn't matter what side you use. Number 8 is number 8. So they go up to number 8, stranded. They're like magic. Middleton, I just got it. I'm going to make a video. Nice. What do you think that makes the best Klein? Acetate screwdriver clone. Doyle makes a red one. Ideal blue. Southwire gold. Greenlee green. Dude, don't forget about Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware has some pretty cool clones as well. But I would say probably Ideal. Probably Ideal. Greenlee's really good too. The problem with Greenlee is that the shapes are a little bit off. I can go get some Greenlees and show you. The Greenlees, they're not the same. All right, we got the Greenlees here. We need these. Okay. There is something about when Klein dips these in their, gosh, I can't remember what it's called. What do they call this black stuff? Oxide coat. This oxide coat is anti-slip and extremely durable and protects from corrosion. So the blackout version of the Kleins, which I don't even see here, probably outside, are oxide coated. The whole screwdriver is basically coated properly, right? So if we look at, we look at the shape here, you can see where this starts off really wide and then it kind of tapers down, which is fine. It's fine, but it's not, it's gradual on the Klein where it's all like uniform, same thickness. This actually gets thicker as it comes out and then it gets skinnier. So when you look at the two different screwdrivers here, the Klein stayed pretty uniform and then the Greenlee kind of bumped out. These are the same size as far as that's concerned. But the Greenlee they just did something different. I don't like the bump outs because when you try to get these like on breakers and things like that, that bump out matters when you're up against the sidewall of something. So I want to say Greenlee, you know, for the win, but at the end of the day, they don't have the better shapes. Like even this one's like really, really bumped out, right? So if I get this one kind of bumps out too. This is a demo driver, so they bumped it out pretty far. Let me see here. Yeah, they did bump that one out actually pretty far on the demo driver. But it's for demo, it's not for tightening. So they probably, you know, they have their reasons. But yeah, they both have the metal oxide. They're not JIS tips. They're just regular PH2s, P2H. There's something about these screwdrivers, this set still being less than $20. This is like a guaranteed win. These will last like your whole career. And if it doesn't, just go buy another one. You can beat on these too. It's hard to beat a Klein screwdriver. These two screwdrivers are so iconic, and the grips don't fall off, and they just last forever. And you can use them as beaters, and then you just go buy another one. They're great, and they don't have a metal cap, so you don't have to worry about this mushrooming. You don't have to worry about metal chipping off. You don't have to worry about this getting sharp. They make less noise when you hit them. There's a bunch of reasons why I still prefer like Klein as a screwdriver company or a tool company itself. These screwdrivers are something special, man. They really are. They make some really good screwdrivers. Even if they don't have the fancy VDE, or even if Wiha does make a better screwdriver for like fastening, you know. That's a Knipex. That's a Wiha. You can get the whole set for $30. They got some of the best ergonomics. They got long shafts. They are fully insulated. This is hard to beat, but you still need the basics for just like the basic stuff. It's hard to beat these Klein screwdrivers. That's why I think Southwire. Let's see here. Would you say the green impact you just showed can easily run some self-tappers and metal sluts? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Can you read off some of the names of the guys that are in here? Because I'm on my phone and I can't see any of the names. Thanks, bud. Oh, we got Jeff. We got Red. We got Justin Sparkable. Tools with Souls in the house. I'm behind in the chat, by the way. Denny, Pine Tree, Chad's of Christmas. We got other guys in here too, Rodney. What's up, buddy? Haha. Your tools look new because you're retired to take care of them. Rich Klein made 5-inch blade screwdrivers. Me too. Let's see here. Made in USA by foreigners, yes. Dude said beater. Found out today that the Germans have a word for when men insert. Okay. Perfect. Let's see here. Insulated, if you don't know. Which Klein screwdriver you like better? Which Klein screwdriver do I like the most right now? That is a very good question. I would probably say this one. This is a really, really nice Klein screwdriver. I've got one here that I beat on as well. Somewhere. You can beat on them. Like you can see where I've like actually taken chunks out of it. You can use these as beaters and then just replace the tip. You could just put whatever you want in here whenever you want to. it's pretty cool. This is a underrated screwdriver. The grip on this will never slip. Yeah, I tried to break the ratchet one in half to see like if I could separate the two pieces. We ended up breaking the bit. We actually broke the bit. I broke with my bare hands. Like I broke the actual this in half. We snapped this in half, and then I still use that ratchet every day. The stuff that they're coming out with, like the internals of this, is just ridiculous. It's downright impressive. This is probably my favorite screwdriver. It's the easiest one to recommend. It's a very, very good screwdriver. And if you don't like the tip, you just switch it out. I thought I was going to stab myself in the eyeball just now. Yeah, this for the win. Here, let me show you. My garage is messy, so bear with me. Hammer. Wood. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like... See? Very, very durable. Very, very durable screwdriver there, guys. We just ripped the whole wood off, man. And it just slides right off. It's almost just, it's stupid. It's stupid how good this screwdriver is. It's actually, sorry about that. YouTube sometimes doesn't let me push the back button. You can't push the back button too many times. Okay, yeah. So there you go. And it's like, we'll just leave that there for now. We'll get that back in a second. Yeah, we'll leave that there for now. We'll get that back in a second. It's a good screwdriver, man. It's a good one. This is a good one. This is the one that I recommend for that reason. Yeah, it's crazy. I've tried to destroy them. I've tried, man. They're ridiculous. They're very good. They're like $15 or something, and they're intending on keeping them that price. It's good. Yeah, it's still like intact. Like it's like. That's the one that we beat on. That's the one we didn't beat on. Yeah, there's so much, like, it's just dumb. These things are dumb. They defy physics, man. Do I use ratchets? I do for work. Let me see here. Let me catch up with the chat. The non-ratcheting ball grip and throw a wire nut twister insert bit on. Nice. That's a great idea, actually. Do I have any of the newer client insulated drivers with the slimmer tips? I think I do. I've also picked up something yesterday. Also picked up this. I picked up this because this is the black. They make the gray now. So this is hard to find. it's getting very hard to find the black and the orange with the white. Now, what I can tell you, I was walking with the Klein guy at the factory, and I saw the gray ones being made, which means they're probably not making the black ones anymore. Now, I haven't personally tried the gray ones yet. I've had 3 different pairs of these for various reasons. There's nothing wrong with these. They're a great set of pliers. I feel like these are going to be better than the gray ones. I've never had any grip issues. I've never had any issues with the black or the gray at all, ever. Which is why I picked these up. This was $113. I could ask Klein to send me whatever I want. I don't think that they could send me these because I don't think they're available anymore. So when I saw these in the store, because I've asked for stuff that they don't make anymore, and sometimes they can do it, sometimes they can't. I wasn't even going to bother trying. I was like, that's the last one in the store. I'm picking it up now. So that's cool. If these are the new thin ones, then I do have them. If they're not the new thin ones, then I don't. So I think this screwdriver right here, though, is severely underrated. This guy right here, for as small as it is, severely underrated this screwdriver is. Use the Klein non-ratcheting ball grip and throw a varnish. I already read that. Can you use the Klein ball grip as a beater and still functional? Yes, you can. Yeah. Do you use ratchets out in the field? You should try the Koken ratchet. I want to see a review on it. One of the best, lowest back drag in the game. Yeah. What was the long ball grip one? I don't know. Let's see here. It's going back more. Have they changed the grip material? No. Not yet. This screwdriver here, though, is very, very good. Very, very good. I don't know if this is the new one or not. I think it is. I think this is the new one because the other one has the this, I think, or it's different. This is different. Actually feels really good. I'm not a fan of lanyard loops in the middle of my grips, but you got to keep up with the Joneses. That's what everyone's doing. Whatever. It's not to put more torque in here. I'm so tired of seeing that. Oh yeah, I suppose you could put a screwdriver in here and get more torque. It's like, huh? What are you doing that you need that much torque that you're gonna use a 1,000-volt freaking screwdriver? Are you kidding me? Yes, I have tried. Okay, so I have not opened the Klein ball grip, but we did try to break it in half. This was the result of trying to break the Fast-Bit True Grip ratcheting in half. We broke the bit. So, what's up, Gunter? Welcome. Everyone's welcome here, dude. I'm just not going to bend over in front of you. My question would be, how strong of a screw is able to handle that kind of torque? Yeah. I mean, you can find a screw that's able to handle that torque, but you're not going to find a screw that's stuck on electrical. Like, it's just... What's up? The 8-in-1 True Grip, is that any good? It is. I was trying to get it to release the magnet and we threw it underneath the table. So I guess we are going to bend over in front of Gunter. So just be careful, guys. Just watch my back for me. No way you could hold the screwdriver with another screwdriver and keep it in the slot. I said nice. Okay, 8-1. I tried to break this, and we kind of did. I spun this so hard because I was trying to show you guys that the index is like perfect. We broke the front grip off of it. Now here's the deal: you are never going to experience this problem because your fingers are doing the twisting here. We grabbed this thing like this trying to break it. I was seeing if I could make this rubber spin. This is on here very solidly, at least for now. Let's see what happens if we get some heat on it or something, you know what I mean? Out in the sun and then not in the sun and in the weather and elements, and time will tell. But I don't know. I've been using this for, I'm trying to think, because this isn't the prototype. So I've been using the prototype for about a year, and I've had 0 issues. This is the release, which I'm allowed to show. I can't show you guys a prototype. But I never broke the prototype. Never had any issues with it. And then we tried to see if I could break this. That's what happened here. We weren't able to twist this rubber. So this is a good screwdriver if you never know what you're going to need going into a situation, because you got all the sizes. And then the magnet on it's like stupid. Like we just showed you, like you can't, the magnet's really, really good. It's like really, 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 really good. I've never seen a magnet this good from Klein. Hang on. I think we can get it. They're just too heavy. They are just too heavy. Let's try. There you go. That's how good that magnet is. If you guys wondered, like, how good is the magnet? It's like really, really stupid good. So we haven't seen a magnet like that from Klein ever. And you can hear it. Like when it snaps in here, it's like, bam. Listen. Yeah, I'm a Sparky. I'm actually an electrical inspector now, but I've done the Sparky thing for, I don't even know. I've been an inspector for almost 10 years, and then a Sparky since 2006. So, and then HVAC before that. So, yeah. Can I ask Klein that question? Yeah, I can ask Klein anything. Can I get a newer Japanese Taiwan-made Klein tools warranted at electrical supply shops? Do the foreign-made Klein tools still hold the same warranty as the American one? That is a very good question. I asked Klein to give me some warranty information, and they told me to call Klein customer service and ask that question. So I think you guys should do that too. Call Klein customer service and ask that question. Why do you like more clamp meter or open, and why? Hang on a second. The PS2, PZ2. I don't know if I've messed with the PZ2 from Milwaukee. No way you could hold the screwdriver with another screwdriver and keep it in the slot. I don't know. Oh, you mean like to pull against each other? Yeah. Look. This are going backwards, like broken backwards. And then this will go in forward, backwards. Hell yeah. That's the one we beat the piss out of. Is it? Yeah. Nice. Did you guys see that? So we can pop it out, but can we break it? No, you can't break them. We could try gluing that back together and seeing if it holds. That would be a good test. Let's do that. Let's glue it back in and let's see if we can rip it back out. Yeah, that's how good the hold is on these ball bearings, man. You can't you can probably like mountain climb with the ball bearings, which is pretty crazy. Come on, glue. All right. Yeah, let's just put it on here. This is CA glue, so it's basically super glue, but it has an activator. I'm just going to glue it back in place. I'll spray the activator inside here. I'm going to slap that back on there. We will see. We'll just leave it for a second. Okay, time's up. Haha. So if you pull on it hard enough backwards, you can pop them out after you beat the piss out of it. But they still function as a screwdriver. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff, man. It's amazing. Ha! Got the perfect length there. Okay. That was cool. Question would be how strong of a screw, that kind of torque, yeah. Okay, why do I like a more clamp meter to be open and why? So, you know, it's just easier to kind of access. I don't have. The bigger your clamp meter is, the more wires you can put in there, and the easier it is to kind of, you know, measure. I don't know why clamp meter or open and why. Why do you like more clamp meter or open and why? You a Sparky, yep. Been a bricky, nice. Get a knack tool chest, yeah. Hey, $500 is a great deal. Broke it. Yes. PVC glue, back to work. Inside the screw refers like 2 screwdrivers to screw in a screw. Oh, well, we did something else. Use the Klein 12-in-1 for my screwdriver. Do you think it's worth looking at the ball grip? Yes, the ball grip is very good. You will like the ball grip. It's very, very good. .65 or thicker, the .75 or slimmer. I don't know. No mogging allowed. The Klein 12-in-1. What is the 12-in-1? Klein has too many damn screwdrivers. Wait. Is this the 12-in-1? No. Is this the 12-in-1? 27. Is this the 12-in-1? Are you the 12-in-1? That's an 11-in-1. Maybe it needs the 11-in-1. This is a good screwdriver. You have to put tape underneath of it to fix it. But this might be one of my favorite screwdrivers. The tips are like amazing on these because they're actually like shaped. So when you look at this, you can see that's like a parallel line. So when you put it on like a switch or something, like this, you can see where, let's see here. Yeah. Ah! Hang on. Gotta get rid of this wire. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So you can see they fit switches and devices and controls and, you know, all that stuff really, really good for a Klein bit. You see what I'm saying? There's not too many tips that you can just go buy that are fitted quite like the Kleins are because they are completely parallel. So they've done a really good job on these tips across the board. They are very impressive. Even the Phillips is shaped properly where you can get a pretty good grab on this. I'm not going to say it's going to be the best one ever, but let's see. No, that's not going to hold. That one might. It's not going to hold, but it fits really nicely. It's not going to stay though. I just tried to catch that and just stabbed my leather chair with a switch. Good job. Yeah, their flatheads are actually like thick and parallel. I don't think a flathead will fit in here. It might. I might be able to get a flathead to stay. Yeah, there you go. There's a flathead. I mean, that's pretty impressive for a flathead as it falls. This is a good screwdriver. More importantly, it's a good screwdriver in combination with your fast bit because now you can put these in your fast bit and then you've got this. I really like the knurling on this screwdriver and everything, but man, they kind of mess up the ratchet because it's way too loose. My ratchet's nice and tight because I put tape underneath of it like you guys should. But like regular ratchets that don't have the mods, see the tape underneath there? You got to put tape underneath them for them to be good. The stubby or the one before? Which ball grip though? Oh, yeah, just get this one, dude. This one's fine. This one, look, put any bit in it that you want. So if you get this, with this, you can take these bits and you can put this here. And, you know, I wish they were longer, but you can put anything you want in here. So you get this Racketeers bit set here. And you take one of these Phillips squares. And now you got a number 2 square. And you got a number 2 Phillips. All in one. Pretty cool. It's one of the better sets that you can buy for your Fastbit. It's actually one of the only sets you can buy. I don't know why. Clients leave a lot of money on the table by not making us a set. There's also a 13-1. Yeah, gotcha. Mine has the orange wrapped bits. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the orange ones are from Lowe's. And the black ones are from Home Depot. And I think if you're going to do the Fastbit, you're going to get the black ones because they have like all shaft with no thing in between. But I think that this one has a C1 and C2 driver, which is the combination. So you're not going to get the combination driver. Come on, camera. You know, if I had a little bit more light this way, it would probably work a little bit better. Where is... Oh, yeah, that's dead. Never mind. We tried. Yeah, this is a C1 and C2 driver on it. So I don't know if the orange one has a C1 or C2 driver. But it fits those like really nice. Does the ball handle work with 1K? Sure. How did you put tape under? Show you to put tape under? All right. So, yeah, the ball grip is the new meta. That'll be the title for my next video, I suppose. So you stretch your tape like this. Use white, use red. Don't use black tape unless it's like the good stuff, because the bad stuff will be a problem. Stretch it like this, nice and thin. Have your helper hold this still, and you're going to push it up underneath there like floss. Once it's up underneath there, you're going to have about this much hanging out on one side, so you can kind of like angle it in there like this. It's hard for you to see, right? Kind of like that. I've already got tape in there, but you're going to go like at an angle up underneath there. Leave this part long. Start wrapping this way and pulling as you push it up underneath there. And then eventually it's going to turn into like this. Like you're going to end up having to twist it to make it super skinny. And just kind of shove the rest up underneath there with your fingernail or something. And just kind of pack it in there. It'll feel squishy underneath your fingernails. And then this gets nice and, like, listen to my ratchet. You can hear it's like a little bit stiffer. I love that, dude. The other one was like, it was way too loose, way too easy to switch. This thing was constantly switching while I was trying to use it. Drove me crazy. I had a client engineer at the house a couple of months back, and we took one apart for him. And I think he took one with him so I could show him, you know, how loose they got the way they are. So I also showed him how I fixed mine. And I also have one taken apart in the garage somewhere, because the way that this thing works, it's like this. All the gears are inside of here, and then where my thumb is just smooth. So when you switch the outside, it switches the inside. You see what I'm saying? To turn the gears on the inside. So right here, all this is just smooth. It's plastic on plastic. And then all the actual gearing is done on the inside. So when you switch this, you're not going to be touching any of the tape. The tape is on the outside here where it's all smooth, plastic on plastic. And then all your gearing is done switched inside. So this is a good fix. And it's not going to tear up your gears. It's not going to... It just gives it more friction. Do we need an O-ring? That'd be nice. O-ring might work. Yeah, try it out. Have somebody hold it for you, though. Every time I go on an inspection and I see one, I fix the contractor's screwdrivers. I've fixed 3 now on the job. I fixed one at a car wash. I fixed one at someone's house. They're doing a panel change out. And I fixed another one at a gym. I guess Klein is smart to wait and see if the trend sticks before jumping on them. Vessel and Vera have been making ball grips for a long time, but it's a sad time when the expensive tools walk away. Yeah. You got an O-ring right here for you. The new Klein knife with the crossbar lock and button lock screwdriver. Yeah, and actually, I've been really mean to it. I can't show you the prototype because they changed a couple of things, but I can show you the one that I opened from a package. So I want to say that because if Klein is watching, I'm not showing prototypes. Never have, never will. But let me go get this other one for you because I've used and abused it. Oh, and I'll just grab my EDC bag for inspections. All right, got the EDC bag for inspections. I've got business cards in here, so I gotta watch out. We've got the Milwaukee with the boot. We showed the boot the other day. That's just a subcompact. I've got an Olight. That's the Ultra. That's Seeker 4. Or they call it the Seeker Ultra now. They don't have the Seeker 4. Got the O-Pen. I've got the Loop Gear SK05, which is a really, really nice flashlight. It also works as a battery bank, which is pretty cool. Got a USB and a USB-C Ultra charger. I got 2 Klein plug testers here. One digital, which sucks, and then one which is really easy to use, quick. I've got some confiscated bonding screws in here. I've got about 6 of these, different various sizes. I've got my Fastbit True Grip with my 27-in-1 on the front. If you guys missed this, we put this ratchet specifically on a drill, spun it to like 2,500 RPMs to see. Now you'll notice my ratchet sounds really rough, and I like it that way. I use my ratchet a lot. It advances. It sounds like really, really nice, man. I love how stiff and how like robust this whole thing is. You can see where mine has play in it. I use my tools a lot. You can hear it. This works just as good as the day that I got it, and I like it's breaking in nicely is what I'm trying to say. I spun this for like 3 minutes on a drill just to see what would happen. It's really solid. The tips on here, they come with the 27-in-1. This is the 27-in-1 impact here. You got all the tips there. The best part about this screwdriver is this tip here because this is magnetic too. So you can actually pick up a switch. Like that's how good the magnet is on the new 27-in-1. So what you do is you throw this thing in the bushes because we don't need it. And you stick it on your Fastbit True Grip like this. And now you've got a flathead and a Phillips on here. But then this can also go in your drill. So now you can pop this in here. And now you're good to go with whatever you're doing there. someone forgot to install the wire on their bonding bushing. It was a 400 amp. No, it's a 200 amp disconnect. No, it's 400. It's 400 amp disconnect. So they needed number 2 for the bonding bushing, and they only put number 2 on one of the bonding bushings. So you know how that is. You know, you gotta beat the bonding bushing to get it around where you need it. You gotta set the screw and all that stuff. This has been beating on bonding bushings as an installation driver, and the tip on it's fine. Now, I wasn't beating on it with a hammer, but I was hammering on it to spin the 3-inch bonding bushing. It's pretty sturdy. You can see where I've got, like, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's drywall or I don't know what that was. You can see where I've scratched it there. Like I've actually got like a gouge. It's holding up really nicely. The Phillips is like trying to round off as Phillips do, but they still hold good. It's been a great driver. And then the other day I was relocating a floor box because I was doing a city event. I went and met somebody, and one of the floor box covers was actually bent completely backwards. So if people were walking around, we would not want to, trip over the floor box. So I was going to replace the cover for a different cover. And what I ended up doing while I was doing the screws, you can just spin this like this. Like you can just, like you're on the screw, and all you have to do, pop this thing in reverse and just push, to get the screw off, because it's like you just spin it like a roll of toilet paper. It's great. I like the ratchet, but I also don't like the ratchet because it slows me down because I got to stop every time to do whatever I'm doing. Sometimes it's nice just to grab the screwdriver you need and do what you're doing. But this spinny part here is really useful for long screws for panels because I can do this. Where normally I'd be like this, or like this. So I really like that I can advance this double time and spin it, but I can also roll it like a toilet paper if I have to spin something off as well. Now the knife, which is right here, the other day I pried off and Tools of Souls was actually not live with me. Tools of Souls was on video. We were FaceTiming. So you watched me do this. Pried off 3 nail guards for a contractor so I didn't have to fail the job, and then reinstalled them where he needed them because he had too many. And so you can see the blade damage. You can see the blade where it's chipped a little bit. That's what happens if you pry off nail guards with this. But it's good because somebody said, why isn't this a razor knife? And it's like, well, if it was a razor knife, then I couldn't use it as a pry bar, could I? So not very much play. Still really sturdy. Got the crossbar lock. And then that's the wear and tear on this bit here. And that's it here. I am curious now. Hang on. See, I'm not a fan of that. Why did they go with a different size completely? Oh my goodness. I get they're making it compact, but come on. I hate when we have like 47 different types of bits. This one's their chiclet style, but it works really good. I don't have any complaints on it. It does what it does very well. And in a pinch, I open up covers all the time to check for spark guards or box extenders, whatever you guys want to call them. This has been a useful tool, to say the least. I haven't needed to strip wire. I haven't needed to do a wire loop, but I've used this a lot, and I've used this a lot, and you can even see where I've got like just gunk on the front of it. I actually carry this, and it's on me every day. So all in all, it's been a nice addition, and I like the crossbar lock like a lot. So that's the rundown on the EDC. Also got a hand sanitizer in there too. And that's the Animius. Oh look, haha, magnetic. Check out the Vera Turbo screwdriver. I think it's like $400, isn't it? Let's see here. Damn, Gunter is unapologetic with his preference. Where's Souls at? He's into that type of stuff. 33 plus. Yeah, 33 plus. I want to see the hammer, the Klein ratcheting ball grip. I want to see you destroy the ratcheting ball grip, how you did earlier on that different model. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, got 20% battery, but that's not bad. It's not 5%. So we're probably good. My impact sounds crunchy. Yeah. This thing sounds like a trash can when it impacts, man. It's compact, but it is not. It's not finesse. Yeah, man, I do teach when I inspect. Appreciate it. I saw you're short about box wrenches. Do you have to carry metric? No, we don't carry any metric. Nope. It's like 78 bucks for the screwdriver, no bit. Okay, I'll check it out. Okay, so the short on the box wrench was a little bit out of context there because it was alive like this. So I guess we could clear that up too. Actually, before we start that whole thing, I've had this on the table and I just want to point this out. This was recommended to me to get because it's like a folding little jab saw. And you know what? This would have been cool if they had have just left it as a folding jab saw. But they couldn't do that, could they? They had to put a razor knife in it. And this thing is so janky. Somebody told me to buy this, so you know I can't help it if it's bad. I saw another creator talk about this. I didn't watch the video. I think I saw it on a thumbnail. So I don't know what the content of the video was. But I hope to God they told you not to buy it. That's all I can tell you. I hope that person told you that this thing is a waste of money and you shouldn't buy it. Because damn, dude, this thing is terrible. It's terrible. We've got this Rocky button on the top. It has a ton of play, right? We can slide out a knife. That's as far as it goes. So, regular knife blade. I can already tell just by looking at it that it's not. I haven't actually done this myself, but you can see the difference of like how much actual blade, like usability you get. That matters when you're actually trying to like get something done. So you've got that. Next, I feel like if I stab something with this, it would probably just retract. Like, I don't know, but what the fuck? Stay. Okay, so you have to hold it down here so the other side isn't open. You can see like all the play in there. It's like, it's just janky, man. It's just really, really janky. Like you can see the play on the top of it. If it was just a saw, It's like a little 3-inch saw, because you don't need 6 inches of a saw sometimes. You just need a little 3-inch saw. That'd be cool. But, dude, this thing is like a piece of crap. And the worst part is it's got like, I don't even know what kind of plastic that is, but this is just like unacceptable. I mean, look. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what? It's not it, man. It's not it. I think this thing was like $20. I think Apache wanted me to buy this. It's pretty terrible. I can't even figure out how to get the blades out. So there's a lot of switches. There's like a lever here. There's like a button down here for this. Maybe that pulls the blade out. It's got a purposeful something here. Like, that's purposeful. But it doesn't do anything. So I don't, like, watch. See how this lifts up? Right? Right. Yeah, you can kind of see it. That lifts up. So you think maybe that lifts up to get the blade out, or maybe there's like a position you got to put it in and then lift it up to get the blade out, but you need the blade up here to be able to grab the blade. So I'm picking this piece up. It's completely lifting up, but the blade is not coming out. So if this thing's not meant to lift up, why is it lifting up? I wish you guys could see that. There you go. Yeah, you can see like there's clearly some lift on that piece. And it doesn't do anything. Like, I've tried to like squeeze it all the way down. It's just garbage, man. This thing is garbage. And then the lack of like actual blade out here makes this really pointless. It's pretty bad. And it's thick for no reason. So, you know, I don't know. It's not for me, I'll tell you that. I really wanted to like it. I like that a lot. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't trust it. I don't like it. It's very janky. It's very, everything in it like moves. It's just like terrible. It's terrible. Oh, we haven't tried pushing that button down. Let me see. Let me see here. Hang on. So even that button like goes all the way down, but for no reason. Like, do both of these go down at the same time? I don't know. I'm going to read the chat. It's not a menu used as a tradesman. How much can we abuse the Klein ratchet ball grip? Will it live up to its predecessor? We might have to make a video on it and then do it in here, because I've got probably not enough battery to abuse this screwdriver. Right now. And then also we kind of ripped the whole wood thing out right now, so I'll have to go and we'll have to go build one, because I ripped the whole freaking thing with the last ball grip. So it's going to take a little bit to build the 2x6 stack again so we can pound it into something as well. So we'll probably do that on the next live, or that is probably something I want to do live. I'll probably have Angela film it too. Maybe we'll go live later. Then we'll hammer on this. That'd be cool. We'll do that. We will do that. Try standing up. Yeah. That thing looks like crap. And dang, Apache suggested it. That's hilarious. Yeah. My favorite EDC multivitamin screwdriver. Oh, multi-bit. That's awesome. My favorite EDC multi-bit screwdriver is probably this. This is the best multi-bit screwdriver right here. Oh, wait. This one's good too. That's a good screwdriver. If we had... Do I have any Phillips? That's a Torx. If I had any Phillips screws... There's that rule, man. There's always one more. There's always one more. Now we're officially out. Okay. This is... Even Klein was surprised when I showed him this. So they didn't know that you could do this with this screwdriver. The reason why you can do this is because this portion right here is so much further away than the handle. And then because the handle is skinny, it's able to be away from my palm. So we're just going to take this screw right here with no pilot hole. And the tip is very decent. And we're just going to put this right here. And with 3 fingers, we're just going to spin this whole thing in here without even really having to stop. And then I'm just going to talk to you while I do it and just be a complete beast. There you go. Right there. Completely gone. This has so much leverage. It's ridiculous. The grip's not going to slip. And then you've got like all the storage here. And they're slimline. I'm begging Klein to make us longer bits, even though they won't fit in here. Because this is an amazing screwdriver. Yeah, they were asking me some questions, and I was like, what about this one? And they were like, oh yeah, that's a control screwdriver. And I was like, no, this is like the screwdriver. This isn't just for controls. This is like a full-size screwdriver. You know what I mean? Like, you can do everything with this screwdriver. It's pretty crazy. You're not going to run into needing that much torque on a receptacle or something, you know? It's just a... If you need to, you know, I suppose you can. See it right there, popping out? Let's see. It's just spinning in there, but that's the tip of the screw right there. See, watch, I'll back it out. See how it's going? I'll put it back. Now it's back. That's probably my favorite multi-bit screwdriver right now. This thing has so much torque, and then because this is like further away from your hand, it doesn't catch while you're trying to turn it in your palm. The other screwdriver will, because it's so much thicker. Even though you're spinning it, the cap itself is not as far out, so it doesn't push it far enough away from your hand to where you dude, this thing is perfect. It's perfect, and it's good for upside down work too. Like, you can see I'm spinning that, and the screwdriver's not like bouncing all over the place. You've actually got control here because it's not catching any drag inside your hand. Yeah, the cap spins. Listen. Huh. Do I like the 11 ones? I'm not a fan of 11-in-1s because they take a long time to pull apart. There is one screwdriver that's the exception. It is the Klein slide drive. The Klein slide drive has a 5/16 here. And then if you pull this back, it turns into a 1/4 inch because there's like a collar there. So we're not having to take all the bits apart to get to the 5/16. And then when you're ready, you flip this around and then you got your Phillips. But as you can see, the Phillips is missing because that's what these screwdrivers do best. They lose the bits and then you got to go buy more. So for that reason, I don't like the 11-1s and the 10-1s and the 13-1s and whatever else, because you have to take them apart to get what you need. This screwdriver here, you can take apart way less. Have you tried extending 6-in-1 screw? Have I tried extending the 6-in-1 screwdriver? Yeah, so the 6-in-1 is too wide. Where is it? The 6-in-1 here is too wide. See where it just grabs your hand? You get some really good leverage. It's a nice screwdriver. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I like the screwdriver a lot. It's got that arrow there, so this grip will probably fail on you. It's going to slip at some point. Maybe not now. Unless they fixed it. I don't know. No, we could probably break the grip. Anytime you see that arrow from Klein and it's a hollow, the grip is usually going to fail. Yeah. This, because it's wider, it's harder to spin because it catches the friction. So for a leverage standpoint, obviously this is going to give you more leverage. It's a great screwdriver. But if I can drive a 1 5/8 screw into a 2x4 with 3 fingers, you can't say this thing doesn't have enough leverage to do the job for an electrician. This will probably do it better. It's probably a better screwdriver. But I don't know, man. I really, really like this screwdriver a lot. It's small, it's skinny, it's easy to get. It has all the bits, it's 1,000 volt, and it's got a lot of leverage. Screwdriver. If I tried extending it, I don't know how I would extend it. It doesn't extend. Favorite screwdriver without the spinny top. Okay. Without being the fast bit true grips, without the ball grips, because this is probably my favorite screwdriver. Without these, it's probably going to be. Oh man, I never thought about that. Oh yeah, it'd be this one. That's what I was saying. With the slide drive. I was like, am I missing out on something there, Justin? Have you tried the 52559? It's a multi-bit screwdriver. Has a P1, P2, 2 flatheads, 5/16 1/4 inch. 52559. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. What is this? This is a 52596. Yeah, I think I have. That's the one where you can put it in your drill, but then the bits aren't magnetic. So close door. Where is that screwdriver? Is it like this Milwaukee one? It's It's kind of like this Milwaukee one probably, right? Where it's got all that with it. I used to think that screwdriver was like the best thing ever, but then you go to put this part in your drill and you go to actually use it on some screws. I hate that Milwaukee doesn't have a quick insert. And you realize it's not even magnetic. So then Klein doesn't make the magnetic one, and you're like, damn, I wish it was magnetic. And then you hear that Milwaukee's coming out with one, and you're like, oh, yes, cool. Maybe we're going to get a magnet. No, it's a long 6-in-1. Oh, yes, I do like the long 6-in-1, dude. I rocked the long 6-in-1 for a while. I do like that screwdriver a lot. What do you think about the Klein combination square? It's made for electricians to take measurements on the panel layouts. One thing I'm eerie is the magnet that holds it in place. Oh, I have not seen that. Why would it have a magnet? We don't need a magnet to lay out panels. That's going to get full of sawdust, full of metal shavings, metal dust. Klein version of that Milwaukee you're using has a spot that accepts any 1/4-inch bit, has magnetic capabilities. It doesn't. It doesn't, though. You think it does, but it doesn't. I'll show you why. It says it does, but it doesn't. I don't have the whole piece because I gave it to my HVAC guy. But it doesn't transfer the magnet to the screw. It says it does. It shows like it's for a screw, and the magnet will hold the bit in, but the magnet doesn't transfer out to the fastener. The ruler is held by a magnet instead of a screw. I'll have to check it out.
You want me to bed longer?
No. What are you doing?
I just got a shower.
You want to hang out?
I was hoping to.
You want to play a video game?
We could.
Klein's version of Milwaukee, the ruler, yeah. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, this is a pretty cool live. We got a lot done. Cool. I think we're gonna get. Can I ask Klein to send you a combination square? I want to see you do a panel layout with it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I have a layout tool? There's a layout tool with holes in it that works pretty well. Maxis made it first. Something Mark. It was red. And then another person made one. Southwire made one. Copied off of it. And it works pretty good because it lays out your strut. And then it automatically lays out the center of your pipe. And then that dot is the center of your pipe. And if you laid out your strut and you put that to the back of your, or to the face of your strut line, it already has a center for the exact pipe that you need. It works pretty good. Yeah. Oh, you ordered one? They're pretty good. Just make sure that you bring your mark forward. So you're going to take your first mark with the L. You're going to draw your 1 5/8 line for your strut. Then you're going to bring that ruler to the face of the strut. I think that's right. And then you're going to have a bunch of dots that are like offset from each other. Let's say you got a 3-inch pipe. This can be 3.5 inches in diameter. Or let's do... No, 3.5-inch pipe would be 4 inches basically. So that'll put you 2 inches off the face of your strut. Would be the best way to kind of explain that. And then you just make your hole. But what I personally did, dude, I always did squares on everything I did, and I knew my spacing. So I always did a square. So this is what I would do. I'm going to run out of battery. I'm absolutely going to run out of battery here. We got so many tools on the table. Look, it's the box that sits in my car that has all my things in it. Perfect. All right, we got cardboard, just like the job site. Hey, I already got Sharpie here. Very nice. Okay. Strut, 1 5/8. So we'll go here. 1 5/8 right there. That'd be 1 inch, 1/2 inch, and then the 1/8 after the 1/2 inch is the 5/8. Because 4/8 would be half for you guys at home. All right, so 1 inch, 5/8 there. So if you got like an 8-inch panel can, in case you guys don't know, your strut is going to be sitting over the panel can, and your pipes are going to be here. That way we can attach stretch straps, which look like this. Attach stretch straps like this. So you got to break them apart, and then you got to put one on one side of the pipe, and you put them in your strut like this, one on the other side of the pipe, and then put this guy in here like this. And this is why you can't use a 7/16 nut driver like everyone thinks you can, because what happens is, as your strut starts lining up, this strut strap's like bent or something. It's crazy. You can't access the next bolt when you have another strut strap right next to this one. You see what I'm saying? So if we have 2 strut straps, got another one. Hell yeah. Okay. So we have one here on this pipe, and we have one here on this pipe. My goodness, I need pipe. I would just set them like this. That's fine. Perfect. Like that. You can't get a tool. You can't get a tool in between here. So you take your magical wrench here that's 3/8, and you set it on there. And what's cool about this is the back drag is always a problem for these ratchets, right? But you can grab the back of this and you can force it to ratchet. You see what I'm saying? Because you got access to this side. So it's better than a regular wrench. And then because these protrude off, once you get to tighten, you need something that fits in that groove. So a standard wrench won't fit in that groove. See how you get that free kind of socket shape there? And we're avoiding the curve there. That's why these are preferred. That's why this is the way it is. This is why I always say that's what you need. So the strut's here. This is 1 5/8 strut here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to say, I've got a, we'll go 2-inch pipe. So we know it's going to be 2.5 inches in diameter. So that's going to be my 2-inch pipe. Now, half of 2.5 is 1 3/4. I hope. Last time I checked it was. So we're going to go 1 3/4. Did I say 2.5? It's not 1 3/4, guys. It's 1 1/4. Because that would be, yeah. Yeah, because you're going 2.5. Yeah, sorry, my bad. 1 1/4. 1 1/4. Math. 1 1/4. Now, what I would usually do, though, is I would actually box this out. So I know my pipe's going to be 2.5 here, 2.5 here. So I would have my box. I have my box right here. 1 1/4 there. That's my center, right there, right? You drill your hole, and you have to extend these lines out because when you do your knockout set, it'll make sense. But if you have a box, it doesn't matter. So when you do your knockout set and you put your cup over the hole like this, your cup lines up with the margins of your box. And then, like, it's so easy to lay out. Like, that's pretty close, right? So we can see our cup is on all 4 parts of the cutout. So you know that you're going to be cutting out exactly where you want to go. So then, you know, okay, cool. I can drill my hole because you're going to have the knockout set cup for anything. And you just sit on the top and be like, okay, yeah, that looks great. And then you can drill your hole. But then when you come over here, you know, let's say we want to do 1 inch spacing. So, okay, I'm going to do a 1 inch spacing. So I'm going to be 1 inch off of that. And then I'm going to do another pipe. And we'll do 1.5 inch pipe, which would be a 2 inch. So I'm going to have a 1 inch for my hole right here. Come off the strut, 1 inch for my hole right there. That's my cut. Come in here, 2 inch. There's my box. Boom. There's my 1 inch spacing guaranteed. And then you come over here and you get your cup and you set it there. And when you cut it, everything's completely on all 4 sides. And you can lay out. No profanity. I didn't even realize I did profanity. Sorry. Sometimes construction, man. It's a struggle. It's a struggle, dude. Everyone's got their issues, man. Mine is definitely profanity. So appreciate you calling me out. Let's see here. Where's your strut? No real strut. That was the strut. The 1 5/8 was the strut. Okay. Scroll up and see what Soul said earlier, if you can. Okay. If you're trying to get into electrical at 30, school or apprenticeship. Well, you know, apprenticeship, because you're wasting your time at school. Because you're going to have to unlearn whatever you learned, because your journeyman's going to teach you what you need to know. Just go straight for apprenticeship, because you can spend 3 years in school, but they're still going to pay you like an apprentice. Let's see here. Klein combination square. There's barely any video showing how to use it. I might check it out. I'm going to go from the Milwaukee flat light video. Thanks for the live. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Ken Klein combination square. Okay, where's the Souls comment? Oh, okay, cool. Hey, we had to get about 30 minutes ago. This phone has good battery, so we're still sitting at, it's trying to die. So we got to get, come on, light. Stop it. Stop it. There we go. Have to change the focus. Time to try and hopefully find an apprenticeship. Yeah. Are you in Texas by any chance? If you're in Texas by any chance, I can get you a job anywhere. New Jersey. Right on. I had a guy that reached out to me, said he wanted me to hire him. I said, man, I'm an electrical inspector, but I know every contractor. If you want to work, I'll get you a job. And he visits the channel every once in a while. He'll be on here on the live with me. He's my buddy, and I vetted him, and he's solid, man. He's a good guy, and his name's Anthony. So this channel is not a whole bunch of talk, man. We're actually helping people out. So if you guys got any electrical questions, leave them in the comments below. Happy 4th to everybody. And we will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.